Get light on here. Thumbs up. Hold on. We'll get the light on here in a minute. All right. Okay. Chat now with us in the chat room. Chat now with us in the chat room. So ScrewTube got us still on a shallow ban. You know what ScrewTube has done? It has gotten, it has went on all of the black channels that gives the opinions about what these white supremacists are doing. And we're calling them out. We're giving our own interpretation of the news now. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that cash up. Chat now with us in the YouTube screen. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Get the thumbs up on the podcast there. But yeah, ScrewTube basically likes the ideal. They like the idea of watching black media, right? ScrewTube like the idea of not only watching black media, but it wants to make sure that black folks do not have corrected information about white supremacy and the white supremacists. Okay, thumbs up, like, share. Now, do we suggest that all white people are racist and white supremacists? No, we're not saying that. What we are saying is that the white privilege continues. And this is, as you know, let's do some history as far as white privilege. And let's do some history, of course, as to why all this came about. Because some of you dumbass so-called black conservatives like to come to my channel and say, well, see, I don't understand what you mean about white supremacy because blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're going to take a little history lesson in the 1960s when y'all were cowering down to the white supremacists. And now your children have to reap what is the issues of what's going on now as to why these white supremacists still think that they can, treat your children the same way that they treat y'all during the time that, that John Lewis got his ass kicked in Selma. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about another police officer. This case happened a while back. It happened around, I want to say, when did this happen? I think this was in probably around April, June, April, May, somewhere around there, where this guy got convicted, this police officer, Andrew Delke. And I want to basically start the video out, if I can, you white people who's controlling YouTube. This is, we are able, we thought that we were able to use our fair rights laws on your platform, okay? You see, your community standards, in which we're prepared to take you to federal court here in a minute, is supposed to basically, your platform is supposed to allow any person to give a critical analysis of what's going on in society, especially American society, not for you to determine what is a community violation based upon what we're saying on our podcast, okay? Because you don't go to the white supremacists in their podcast, you don't go to Ben Shapiro's podcast and tell him he can't say certain things. You see what I'm saying? You don't ban no content of the white supremacist who is calling us monkey on their podcast. And with your white privilege, of course, that we're going to be diving in a little bit today, We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about your little community guidelines if we have enough time. But I want to start the case about Andrew Delke. Now, Glenn Funk, which is the DA in Nashville, I think it is, Tennessee is where this happened. He basically agreed with the defense to give this police officer, this white police officer, Andrew Delke, in the shooting death of Daniel Hambrick only 3 years. That's what they came up with. They came up with the plea deal to give 3 years because the district attorney Glenn Funk and the thought that, or his team or whatever, the prosecution or whatever. See, this is how they all uncode. They claim that they were worried about this police officer getting off because of, the prior cases like what's his name, Philando Castile case. Remember, he had got off. Other white supremacist race soldiers that got off, of course, as well. So now what we are doing here is we're thinking, of course, that the district attorney is on the same page with the defense. Now, his points were valid. I'll give that to Glenn Funk. He said that he ran a risk of having this being a hung jury, even though as a district attorney, he could basically file more charges or file a charge again if there's a hung jury. He could also given a plea deal of 10 years and not 3. Most DAs, if they think they're going to have a hung jury, they would tell, hey, you have to do 10 years. Now, but his argument is that, well, Daniel Hambrick had a gun in his hand and he was running from police. Okay. But still, if he was running for police, that's nothing. You still cannot shoot him in the back. Okay. That's really murder. But, the white supremacist system, they're saying this is, our best option was manslaughter. Okay. Now, and I told you when I looked at the trial, and I like how the mother, when she gave the impact statement, like I told you, this is the best impact statement I have ever heard from a mother, especially a Black mother, because typically we get from Black people, we typically get this, and I hope Jesus rest on your soul, and I hope Jesus blah, 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 blah. And then we get everybody crying and stuff like that. And the officer will fake his little tears. He don't show no emotions. And then everybody go home and talk about we need to vote. And this family did talk about voting. Okay. But I like how Vicky Hambrick, the mother, lashed out at this police officer, because I've been telling you, you have to let the white supremacists know how you feel. Okay. Chat now with me here in the chat room. But let's go in there and let's listen to this here. I want the white supremacists to allow me to do this, especially the ones on scripture.
Today because I recognize that my use of deadly force was not reasonably necessary under all the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that what happened on July 26, 2018 was tragic. Mrs. Hambrick lost her son that day, and I am responsible for her loss. These are facts that I will have to live with for the rest of my life. And no mother should ever have to experience the loss of a child, and not a day has gone by that I have not thought about my actions. I also recognize that my actions impacted the community and the police department. I hope this case can contribute positively to the much needed discussion about how police officers are trained and how we as a community want police officers to interact with citizens. I am deeply sorry for the harm my actions cause, and I hope that Mr. Hambrick's family will obtain some comfort from my acceptance of responsibility and my guilty plea today.
Okay. All right. So you see, this is white privilege right here. Now, the DA claimed that he thought that he should give him 3 years because the defense told him that, hey, this guy may get off. Okay. If you looked back in Dallas as far as the Amber Geiger plea deal, she got 10 years. And there was also other cops, even in Chicago, that got 10 years. Okay. So, and then this district attorney mentioned, Glenn Funk mentioned about the fact that, not having this man on the force no more. Dude, white people do not, when they get fired, they do not get in trouble like this. They go to other police agencies. They get reassigned. So talking about the fact that, I didn't want him to stay on the force. He's just going to get fired and go to another force. These white supremacists goes to certain types of forces where they're going to do the same thing. And they like to come into the black neighborhoods. Okay? Why is my lights not up? Get my lights up. So what we're saying is this Andrew Delke, he gets 3 years for this plea deal for shooting this black man, Daniel Hambrick, in the back or killing him or whatever. And the mother, Vicky, she does her impact statement. Now, the attorney, of course, because attorneys, they have to, they can't say a lot of things because they can lose their law license. So I understand that. But the judge in the case, this Monty Watkins, he was on code. And I told y'all in a lot of these cases, when these cases go to trial, a black judge cannot give you no kind of justice without the permission of his white benefactors. That is the basics of white supremacy. You may tell me that this district attorney, Glenn Funk, is going to say that 3 years is all that he can negotiate with the defense. 3 years. This is one hell of a defense attorney. If he can negotiate with a district attorney only getting 3 years, when we've seen white supremacists like Amber Geiger get 10, or that white supremacists in Chicago get 10 years as well. So what is about this man, this Andrew Delke, that he gets 3 years in prison, and this is the only thing that the district attorney can negotiate here? And then on code, the former district attorney came out and said, well, I will testify that the officer did nothing wrong. And if I was basically running the district attorney, I wouldn't have even brought charges against him. And this happened in Nashville, Tennessee, for those of y'all who's wondering. Okay. In that same city in Nashville or Tennessee, the area, a black woman by the name of Andrea Miller got pulled over by a race soldier by the name of Officer Maddox. Officer Maddox did not ask for her license, registration, didn't ask for anything. Told her to get out the car. And the evidence shows later that he never asked for any kind of identification. He was just basically, he had his hard-on fruits on, as we say, with these white supremacists. You know how they treat these black women when they stop them. Remember the girl who was walking, and the black girl who was walking, she was 18 and she was crying. And the officer told her, hey, come on over. See, he had his heart on that day. So you have to watch these white supremacists. They have their heart on sometimes, when you're not around, and they're with your women. You understand? And it's only him and the woman there. And so back to this Nashville cop in Andrew Miller's case. So they actually settled for $130,000. And this Officer Maddox was relieved of his duties in that situation. But here's the thing about that. The former district attorney, man, I wish I had this fool's name. This man is a white supremacist to the core. And we're going to do a whole podcast on these district attorneys because it's the district attorneys and the judges and the white media. They're the reason why white supremacy is still in existence. Now, I'm going to come back to that. But let's look at this black judge, this Monty Watkins. The Monty Watkins judges of the world, and just like the judge in Amber Geiger's case, these are black judges who do not have no power. They'll mention the law all day to you. They'll say, the law only restrains me to do this. You see, whenever a black person is trying to seek justice, they want to follow the law and stuff like that. They want to say, all I can give you is this. My hands is tied on the plea deal. But when a black person shoots a white person, they come up with they find all kinds of laws. And nigga, I'm going to give you 75 years plus 25 more years in jail. You looking at these white supremacists, fool, I'm not going to live that long. You know what I'm saying? But when black people shoot when a black person shoot a white person, they find all kinds of other additional charges that they can charge them with. You understand? So keep that in mind, okay? Keep that in mind. Let's go now to listen to, I think this is going to be the mother here now talking. I want to talk about what the mother's situation is. They're going to first show the prosecution. I don't know how the prosecution. I don't know how the.
We all know.
Hello.
Even though I have child, and Hambrick has a prepared statement.
Now, when she came on, Ms. Hambrick, attorney had the prepared statement. And I don't like prepared statements, okay? Because when we talk there about when your child is getting shot and killed by these race soldiers, no kind of feelings. White people get to burst out in tears in court when you shoot their children. They get to let you have it. You understand? That's the reason why I cannot stand these prepared written statements that these attorneys get black people to say in court, because the white supremacists, they're not going to have a prepared statement during their emotional time when they lash out on black folks. But the prepared statement was very important to hear, but I also want to hear what Ms. Hambrick had to say without some damn sorry-ass impact statement handwritten by some attorney. Let's look.
And I will read it on her behalf. She may still have a comment afterward, but this is her prepared statement.
Yeah, the comment. I want to hear the comment,
okay.
Not the damn statement.
My name is Vicki Hambrick. I'm legally blind, and I have asked my attorney, Joy Kimbrough, to read this statement on my behalf. On June 1st, 1993,
wow,
I gave birth to Daniel Edward Hambrick. He was my only child and the love of my life.
That's it.
Daniel recognized at an early age that I had a disability, but he was never ashamed of me or embarrassed by me. He loved me unconditionally and constantly said that he would always take care of me. My son was my eyes. Since he's been gone, things have not been the same, and they never will be. There is not 1 hour that goes by that I do not think of Daniel. Even though I have friends and family, there is a void in me that cannot be filled. Nothing and no one compares to my precious son. I am angry, mad, and disgusted.
Right.
But I pray that no other mother have to endure what I've endured these last 3 years. I am against this so-called plea deal.
Right.
I am against the way the state and the defense joined hands to protect this racist, biased, anti-black criminal system.
Right. And let me stop right there.
My son was murdered.
Her son.
On video.
Okay, now, because ScrewTube likes to say that community guidelines suggest that we cannot let you see like videos and stuff, they like to lie and say that, somebody put a disclaimer on our video for showing video, which is a lie. They basically don't like us giving a different opinion than what is already told by them. So they'll say that kind of lie. But what you have to understand is that we use these videos because that's the basic. See, the white supremacists, even when we start to, learn about the videos, they're still trying to tell us what you saw, what you didn't see. You see what I'm saying? Remember they tried to use that in New York where they's like, okay, well, he was, when they put the black dude in the chokehold, and when he was put in the chokehold, they're going to try to say, no, he was not murdered because of that chokehold. He was murdered because he had, diabetes, and he had all these types of, illness going on in his body. See, that's the type of stuff now they were trying to use when Daniel, what's this guy's name? Not Daniel, the guy in New York that was choked out. He was put in that chokehold. He'll come to me in a minute. But the white supremacists know that video is very important. Okay, that's the reason why they be cutting off their cameras. They don't want you to. They cut off their cameras when it's time to show what they're really doing. Okay, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. See, when they cut off their cameras, that's letting you know that they're hiding something. Okay, but back to Daniel Hambrick's case, when this when the mother is sending her statement, this racist bias system, it is biased. It is, and like I said, this Glenn Funk DA, he was on cold with the defense attorney, but they're saying that this was better because the district attorney before him wouldn't have charged him at all. You understand? The white supremacist district attorney that they had before in there, he was not charging no officer. He wasn't going for it. Okay? So what they're saying is that at least we got this district attorney who did file the charges. And then he did at some point was at least going to get some time in jail and not work on the force no more. He does have a felony. Okay. So he was saying rationality, if I could made a deal, then we can go to court and whatever. But still yet, that does not give him he still had the right to refile the charges if there's a hung jury. Everybody, well, not everybody, but you know that you can file the charges until you get a person either guilty or not guilty. So he didn't want to put a lot of money, the city to put a lot of money into filing new charges if there was a hung jury, is basically what he's trying to say. But back to the written statement.
By Nashville Police. My son has a right. He has a right to a public jury trial.
Exactly.
I want citizens of this community to render a judgment.
That's right.
I don't want a backroom bargain where the current DA, the former DA, and their ex-co-worker David Rabin emerged from some country golf club course and tell me that my son's life was worth 3 years.
Right. Okay. Now that's the situation there. Now, these white folks, that works in the system, of course, they all are in cahoots. And in a system of white supremacy, they play golf together. They go out, they have all these different homes that they stay in when they go out of town, or if they go out of out of the country, they got money everywhere in other countries and stuff. And as the statement has been written, remember, she said the former district attorney, again, the former district attorney, he is basically, like I said, he is real racist. But even if they got him out of that position, he was still going to be brought in on this trial or on this case to testify. He was willing to testify for the defense against this, for this officer. You understand? So they were all on code with this. And you have to understand, this is who is protected. See, the district attorney and the police are all protected by the judges. And notice this judge, like I said, this black judge, he was on call with everybody. This Monty Watkins, like I said, a black judge cannot give you no type of justice. He needs permission from white folks to do so. Because if he get out of line, he knows what's coming to him. He knows that you're not going to at all put a white person in jail. How dare you, nigger, thinking you're going to put a white person in jail? You see, that's the reason why wearing the robe and then being a part of their system in the 1960s, our parents really basically refusing to fight and say, no, we don't want a system like this. Our parents' refusal to fight. John Lewis allowing the police to whoop his ass in the 1960s and think that that's something to basically be something proud of, and want to then bring that tradition down to your kids, and your kids is like, oh, hell no. We have a right to defend ourselves. Ain't no, this is not going to happen. So the white supremacists are getting scared because they know their children is not listening to the civil rights generation. So after, and she was basically finished reading the statement, by the way. But now I want you to hear the reaction of the mom, because see, here's the thing. I've always told you, if you listen to my channel, is that you have to let the white supremacists know how you feel. I always have said that, right? Because like I said, typically we'll say, hey, Jesus, hopefully Jesus will have mercy on your soul, blah, 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 and we start crying. But no, this mother really allowed the white supremacists to hear how she felt about the killing of her son, the son who had taken care of her because she was blind. All the other people who were was at the time saying that, you niggers, y'all don't do nothing, y'all don't take care of your families and stuff. This mother knew that her son was her eyes, as she said in her statement, and that her son, she didn't need nobody else. because her son made sure that she was fed. Her son made sure that she was clothed. Her son helped her pay all the bills and stuff like that. Because remember, this society, they teach us that black men, you're not shit. You understand? This is what this society has taught this, people, even taught our own women and children this. But you're looking at a family now where a black man took care of his mother because she was blind and was not able. At the time that she had to try to call on other family and friends, she didn't need to because her son was there to do this. And she basically missed not only the love and support that she got from her son, but she missed the fact that he was a good son that had taken care of his mother because of her being blind and that disability. But yet we keep on hearing that you niggas, you black men, you're not shit and blah, 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 blah. And your children know that you're not shit. But then we're having children learning now that, okay, it's the system that is trying to suggest that these black men are not nothing. But we are not been given the opportunity. In fact, like I told you about these credit systems that deny us bank loans and stuff like that, which was one of the biggest issues here that we had in the 1960s while allowing integration without the opportunity of saying, okay, how are we going to come up with our own money? How are we going to come up with our own finances? How are we going to develop into business and economics? How are we going to be taking care of our families? How are we going to take care of our children? How we're going to be basically get it to where we don't have to depend on the white supremacists. You understand? And they wanted us to be dependent upon them so that it can undermine the fact that they can come to your house and snatch your children away from you. Okay? And then you have white supremacists like the one who run this YouTube try to tell us, well, you Negroes, y'all don't work hard. Remember Tariq Nasheed when he was interviewing with Laura Ingraham, and she was talking about, well, what about just simple hard work? The white supremacists know that they have never done hard work. They have always relied upon black people's labor. And then whatever they did not rely upon, they had stole land, stole money, stole property. Everything that they have inherited was stolen. Okay, but the white supremacists, they like to go on Fox News and talk about hard work. See, this is the reason why these folks don't want me on their news stations. I'm gonna tell you, wait a minute, what you mean hard work? Everything that y'all have, y'all stolen. And within y'all white privilege, this is the reason why y'all created the police departments, because the police were designed to protect your white privilege. They were designed to protect the property that you have. The white supremacist police and race soldiers, they are here to protect white people only. Okay? And you do not forget that. That's the reason then why they put Derek Chauvin in jail. You know, they had these white supremacists all across the country telling the United States, hey, we are enjoying our white privilege over here. So yeah, go ahead and put that white dude in jail so he can be the white sacrifice we need, because we're enjoying our white privilege so that these Negroes can get back working for us again. You understand? But let's go back to what the mom said here. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And this is a real victim impact statement. This is a real victim impact statement.
Can't believe it's Judge. I can't believe it. I've been going through this for 3 years. I can't believe it. Judge, I lost my mother. I lost my grandmother. I lost my father. My My father had a stroke and a heart attack. I can't believe it. Because of you. Because of you. I lost my father, my son father. Because of you. Because of you. He killed himself. I hate you. I hate you. I don't accept your apology because you could have did it the actually gave it. I don't accept it. What if the tables turn? George, what if the tables turn? Just look at the tape. What if it's your child? Instead of my child. What if it's your child? It'd have been a different story. Go ahead. What if it's your motherfucking child?
That's
you
right.
white motherfucker.
Right.
Come in for motherfucker. You bastard. You bastard. I hate you. Roger, I hate you too. You blind motherfucker.
That's right.
I hate you. I hate you.
Miss Hambrick.
You told me a goddamn lie.
Miss Hambrick.
And I hate you. I hate you. Damn it. Come in for motherfucker. You better watch your back in jail, motherfucker. You bastard. You bastard. You better watch your motherfucking back. You hear me? You better be scared. You better be scared, motherfucker. I'm telling you, motherfucker. They gotta take you out of here now, because I'm gonna come in and smack the shit out of you. Oh, yes, I am. So they better take you out of here. They better take you out of here. Because I've been through a lot from you. A lot. His friend killed himself because of you. I hate you. So I don't accept your motherfucking apology.
That's right.
Okay? You cook a plan, motherfucker.
That's
you
right.
Come, no, let me go.
Well,
Let me go.
well.
You talk about your family. Y'all talk about our family. Y'all call us a family.
I think
Y'all
this
say
is
we eat. Y'all say we eat watermelon. You racist motherfucker, y'all. No.
okay. Don't harm anyone.
Yeah.
Don't come up here. Just hold it.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. We didn't get a chance, man. We didn't get a chance, man. We didn't get a chance, y'all. We didn't get a chance, man. 3 years.
Okay.
We didn't get a chance.
Now that is a real victim impact statement. Letting the white supremacist system know how you feel. You understand? Letting them know that this system that you all are privy to as y'all privilege, only this white supremacist get to go to jail for 3 years. Okay? Because, see, they're not used to black people going into court and calling them those types of names. When they're behind closed doors and they're going to settle with this white supremacist race soldier who shot and killed this man, they're behind closed doors saying, yeah, we're going to give him only 3 years in jail. You understand? And you're letting the white supremacists know how you feel. Now, like she said, you know, if the tables was turned, you know that, you know, a black man would have got the death penalty. He would have got 90 years in jail and 25 years. And then you would have some racist judge or some bootlicking Negro talking about, and I wish I could have given you more years. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, 90 years plus 25 years to life and 725 more days. You know how they add on when a black person is found guilty. You understand? Like, how the hell are you going to give me all that and I'm not going to be here? You know, see, this is their kind of racism, and it's a protective class here, which is now also coming to an end, by the way. And that's what they're upset about. Okay? But they're holding off at the time in a sense of more years here. And so what the mother was saying, she was talking about her son, you know, saying, and they were all talking about how black folks were eating watermelon and stuff like that, and calling us all kinds of names, and yet they thought that it was not going to be brought up in the victim impact statement. You understand? So these police officers are on code. So they like to go to social media and they like to basically say all they can and do all this crazy stuff when they on computer. But when somebody confront them, they get scared. You got to take the defendant now out into a location so he's not harmed. You understand? And the fact is that this judge is not, like I told you, a black person do not have the permission to give a white person any kind of lengthy sentences. They don't have the permission, and they're not going to do it. Now, again, when the white supremacists kill one of us, they always talked about, oh, well, all they need is training. That's all they need. You cannot reform. You cannot rehabilitate a white supremacist. It has not have anything to do with their training. These folks come into our neighborhoods because they know that they're going to get away with shooting and killing a black person. Has nothing to do with their training. In fact, they like going into the black communities. And as I told you, go back and look at my commentary. When black police officers are in white neighborhoods, they know that they're not going to do the same thing. You're not just going to pull a white person over in a white neighborhood and expect to have that badge and gun the next day. You understand? So that's the reason why they don't go into white neighborhoods showing out the same way they do in black communities. Okay? And this is because of the civil rights movement and the civil rights people. And they basically is now saying that, okay, you also can do this to their kids, to black children. And the black kids say, no. We have a right to defend ourselves. We're not letting a white supremacist knock us up on the head. We're not doing that. You understand? And now this guy was given voluntary manslaughter for 3 years for shooting and killing a man. And the racist DA said, the former racist DA said, I can come back and testify that this Negro did have a gun. And of all of the times that they have planted guns and other weapons and drug paraphernalia up on us, I mean, come on. You know, we talked about the black man who had his business there, where that race soldier planted drug paraphernalia inside his business. You understand? And the FBI, came out with reports that says that black folks are more harassed and attacked than any other race in this country. Moreover. But yet the white supremacists and the white media want to propagate that the victims, the real victims, are their so-called real victims, are Asians. How the hell did 3% of Asians are victims in this society? We don't see it here. So this judge was on code, just like the judge was in the case down there with Amber Geiger. These black judges don't have no damn power. You understand? Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Now, here's the thing, and we're almost done here with our video essay. ScrewTube, let's see what ScrewTube, because see, ScrewTube likes to control our information. They don't like to put out that we're coming on live. They don't like to basically tell folks, hey, the black media is on. Let's listen to real black media and not that scripted black media that Judge Joe Brown talks about a lot. You see, black folks and white people in media, they have to have scripts, okay? And they have to have their little scripts because media is about propaganda. I was downtown at the courthouse not too long ago. I think I was in my 20s, and I was trying to ask them, hey, I want to advertise something on the news. And I want you to showcase an event for me on the news. And the black cameraman is like, man, hey, you see that camera down there? He said that camera is media propaganda. That's machine propaganda, I think is what he said. And he was right. The propaganda that comes from the white media and into the minds of us to shape our characters and shape our mental personality, that's a huge thing. And so it was supposed to be that the private organizations that run this country is supposed to propagate the information to the white media, and the white media is coming out to basically propagate that to the masses. Okay, but see, that has changed, and so now we're going to basically have we have to get the streaming service, because ScrewTube is using all kinds of things to stop us here. So we have to do our Patriot videos. We're getting those up. We're going to also do our own little camera digital platform, so you can go on our website and also listen to the media. We have to be able, as Black folks, to bring our own media. Now they got this, what's this black media that Lamont, what's this dude's name? This media that, dang, I can't pronounce. Let me see. What's this guy's name? This guy who got in trouble and got fired from CNN. They created this black so-called news media. And the first time that when they basically started to report news, we're looking like, okay, they're sounding just like the grassroots media. They sounded like us just a little bit, Lamont Hill, that's his name. Yeah, Lamont Hill. Lamont Hill and the rest of these clowns is on this new black media network. And when we sit there and listen to it, it's called Black National.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Hold on. Let's see something. Is it the Black National? What are you calling this crap? Let me see. Hold on. Because, see, what they like to do, thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, family. Let's go to their Instagram page. Okay. See, they like to use the black and brown stuff. They like to say that crap. But it's the BNC. The BNC. And Lamont Hill, he's a part of the BNC News. And these folks are trying to sound like us. They're trying to sound like the grass media. Let's take a listen to Lamont, you big dummy Hill, and trying to playing like they are reporting black news.
2015, shooting and killing 9 people there is being upheld. Dylan Roof challenged his sentencing in the U.S. 4th District Court of Appeals. In 2017, Dylan Roof was the first person in the U.S. sentenced to death for federal hate crime.
Okay.
Roof's attorneys argued that he was wrongfully allowed to represent him.
The BNC, see, they start out sounding like us. You understand? They start out sounding like they're part of the grassroots movement. And remember, Lamont Hill was fired from CNN. But see, when they start out sounding just like they're the grass black roots, there's a problem with that. Because the BNC News is nothing like the black grassroots. These people, these so-called black folks who is on that network, is still aligned with the same thing that MSNBC and ABC and all these other folks try to propagate as well. Calling themselves a black news media, you have to basically be willing to understand the black grassroots. Their advertising dollars come from white folks, come from white businesses, and basically they are limited to what they can say. And so therefore, when a news media is limited to what they can say, that means that they're not a news media organization at all. They are a propaganda machine. So Lamont, you big dummy Hill knows, along with all the other black folks that works for this BNC news station, cannot basically give real critical analysis of white supremacists. But they are sounding like us. Don't get me wrong. Those of you who watch and listen to the BNC, they got a lot of white folks invested in their news station. In fact, we also heard that the white supremacists have invested in the channel or even own the channel. But we will basically look for receipts in that. You understand? All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and close out this podcast, this video essay today. And thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget that we will be back on next Saturday. See you. Peace.